Have you ever noticed how every single marriage in Family Guy is absolutely miserable now? But it wasn't always like this. I mean, let's take a look at Joe and Bonnie from season 1.
Joe, you're so funny.
And compare that to now.
I want a divorce!
You got it!
In fact, their relationship has spiraled into being such a joke that Bonnie puts broken shards of glass into Joe's food.
Well, she must like ground glass because I keep finding it in my food.
And Peter and Lois's relationship isn't any better. Season 1.
I got 3 wonderful children and a wife that loves me.
That's right.
And now.
I've been dead since the minute I said I do.
The writers have literally turned Lois and Peter's marriage into an absolute mess filled with snarky jibes, affairs, and general disrespect. But once upon a time, it was clear that they were very much in love despite their faults and differences. So let's take a look back over their relationship and establish where it all went wrong.
You know, I don't mind so much that you're aging, it's just the way you're shoving it down my throat.
Screw you, Peter.
Wait a minute. Complete side tangent here, but have you ever noticed how Peter's chin looks like a pair of smooth balls? And speaking of tidy balls, this video is sponsored by Manscaped.com, aka the best men's grooming and hygiene brand. My husband has been given their Performance Package 4.0, which is their all-in-one men's grooming kit. And it has everything, like the Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer that grooms from head to toe. It has 4 different adjustable guard lengths and ceramic blades to reduce nicks and cuts and ouchies. It comes with this handy wireless charging dock and a long 90-minute runtime. It's also waterproof and cordless, making it perfect to use in the shower so all of your hairs can just be rinsed down the drain. The Crop Preserver Liquid Deodorant and Crop Reviver Toner Spray is included too for a soothing, quick refresh. Everything in this kit just looks and feels so sleek and premium, like this new Weed Whacker 2.0 for nose and ear hair. And only for a limited time when you purchase this kit, you'll also get 2 free premium gifts: the leather shed travel bag and the Manscaped anti-chafing boxer briefs. So, to take advantage of this offer while upgrading your grooming regime, go to manscaped.com today to get 20% off, plus free international shipping when you use the promo code Lydia at the checkout. That's 20% off plus free shipping when you use the promo code Lydia at manscaped.com. So, happy shopping, happy grooming, and God save the balls. Before we get into the nitty and gritty of Lois and Peter's problems, let's first look at how they met all those years ago. According to a season 2 episode, their eyes first met sometime during their late teens when Peter was employed as a towel boy at the fancy country club.
My name is Peter, and I'll be your nipples. Towel boy. Oh, jeez.
And after a rather awkward meet-cute, the pair began dating. This was despite them coming from totally different worlds, Peter being a working-class lad and Lois being the daughter in a blue-blooded socialite family. And even still, they managed to persevere and withstand disapproval from Lois's father, Carter Schmidt, who at one point even offered Peter $1 million just to stay away from Lois.
Lois may be worth $1 million to you, but to me, she's worthless. I love her, Mr. Schmidt.
The beginnings of their relationship were later revisited in a season 5 episode, Meet the Quagmires. Here we saw that the pair were crazy for each other, but while on a mission to relive his not-so-misspent youth, Peter very nearly erased his and Lois's relationship from history. However, he managed to make things right by the end and proposed to her at the big dance.
Lois Schmidt, will you be my wife?
Yes.
Their good times rolled by, as in the early days of Family Guy, their affection for each other really shined through. And of course, they've had their ups and downs too, like any married couple. But the two of them always came back to each other by the end of the episode, no matter the problem. But nowadays, things aren't quite so blissful. Now, Peter insults his wife constantly, from calling her a saggy naggy to Hogzilla when she puts on a little bit of weight.
Oh, hey, Hogzilla, you happen to see my hot wife Lois around?
And while Lois isn't quite as insulting as her husband, she certainly voiced her displeasure with him from time to time.
Appearance. Intelligence. Penis size.
But their marital problems run much deeper than the odd frustrated jibe. This is because of the fact that infidelity is a major issue in their marriage. I mean, within the space of just one episode, they both cheated on each other with Bill Clinton.
Boy, you are good. You are really good.
And alongside sleeping with the apparently irresistible former president, Lois has also tried it on with Meg's boyfriend,
Mom, I forgot my keys. Do you know where?
Justin Bieber,
Okay, just get your pants off, hon.
and flirted with Larry, who was Peter's biological son from his sperm donating days. It's worth pointing out that all of these incidents happened because Peter had insulted her looks or showed complete lack of interest in her.
You've been making me feel old and fat and unattractive and worthless. How do you expect me to respond?
Basically, it's an empty well that Family Guy writers keep returning to. But at least when Lois strayed, it was all part of the storyline, whereas now her recent infidelity has absolutely nothing to do with the plot whatsoever. Like in this season 19 episode where she was spotted in the background sneaking around with this random dude. It's become such a casual thing that Lois's numerous affairs are always mentioned.
Yep, you're unhappy. Yep, who's Greg? Yep, there's Greg.
Even the kids know by now.
You mean Dad?
No, the fat guy who sleeps with Mom.
You guys talking about Dad?
At this point, it's become so bad that even multiple bouts of marriage counseling just can't help them.
I feel unappreciated. Like you don't want to spend time with me.
With all the constant cheating, bickering, and fighting, it's really no wonder that a lot of Family Guy fans suspect that they might be heading for divorce. Of course, that will never happen as everything goes back to the status quo by the end of every episode, and there really is no canon in Family Guy. So the writers keep retreading the same story of Peter and Lois falling out, only to rekindle, and then love again. And then they repeat this entire thing all over again in the next episode. That said, Lois and Peter aren't all that different from their Family Guy peers. In fact, there aren't many happy marriages in Quahog at all.
I think next time you should bring someone else.
Joe and Bonnie Swanson were once one of Spooner Street's most loved up couples, but now they just can't seem to stand each other.
God, I wish it was Joe in that box.
I do too, Bon.
Bonnie's admitted to having multiple affairs with random guys she met off the internet.
It wasn't anything sordid, just some guys I met on the internet.
She's been sneaking around with her priest.
What is it, Bonnie?
Nothing, Father Monahan.
And in one episode, she ran off with Brian. Yep, she had an affair with a talking dog.
I know, making out with a dog? Can you even imagine a woman who possibly does that for real?
What makes this all the more tragic and all the more sad is that Joe is fully aware of how much Bonnie cheats. In season 21, we see him waiting outside with a book until she's done with her new man.
Pass me a Michael Crichton. She's gonna be a while.
But Joe has also cheated on Bonnie, like that time with his co-worker, which then prompted Bonnie to ask him for a divorce. But Bonnie's hate for Joe just goes to that extreme. It goes further than infidelity. She literally hates his guts and wishes he was dead.
Has Joe died?
What? No.
And don't get me wrong, I'm totally not against characters having relationship issues. You've got to have some conflict after all in a cartoon. But when every single marriage is completely dysfunctional and miserable, it just gets repetitive and rather quite boring. Even as recently as season 21, it was revealed that Peter is keeping Lois with him through emotional blackmail.
I think this relationship has...
If you leave me, I will kill myself.
If you want an example of a long-running animated series that really has a great depiction of a well-written marriage, then let's just take a look at Bob's Burgers. Bob and Linda Belcher aren't what I consider to be the most lovey-dovey couple, and they don't definitely constantly shower each other with compliments and flowers, but they don't need to, because it's so darn obvious how much they love each other despite being married for years and having 3 kids. They never insult each other or cheat on one another, they support each other and make a real effort in their relationship. With Bob constantly going outside of his comfort zone to make his wife happy. One of my personal favourite moments between them was in the season 10 episode The Ring. This is where Bob uses what little money he has to buy a small diamond ring because he didn't have the money to get one for Linda when they first got married. But when the ring gets lost, Linda isn't too concerned because a ring doesn't prove just how much Bob loves her, telling him,
I didn't need one then, and I don't need one now. Our love isn't in a big giant ring, you dummy.
It was very small.
Can you ever imagine this scenario being with Peter and Lois without there being some kind of snide remark or an argument beforehand? I don't think I can. So, how did we get here? How did we get to the point where every single marriage and Family Guy has deteriorated so much? Well, I hate to keep blaming it on this, but it mostly comes down to flanderization and time. Peter and Lois have always had their troubles, but as the show has gone on, the writers just kept pushing it to the extreme.
You think maybe we should think about getting it?
It is what it is. Let's just get Stewie to college and go from there.
And a show like The Simpsons was certainly guilty of doing this too with Homer and Marge, but at least they've made a conscious effort to improve their relationship in recent seasons. With season 33's Pixelated and Afraid being one of my all-time favourite episodes simply because it was a really refreshing change. Whereas with Family Guy, they just seem to dwindle into disrepair, and any good times they do have is overshadowed by cheating and abuse. And talking of infidelity, seeing as it's such a big thing in Lois and Peter's relationship, Marge and Homer have also had their temptations, but ultimately they don't go through with it because they value their relationship. And of course, I'm not naive, I know that real life marriages certainly aren't perfect, and I don't want Peter and Lois's marriage in the show to be completely conflict free. I just want one episode with them starting and ending the episode happily in love. Is that too much to ask? And so we've come to the end of the video. Do let me know in the comments who you think has the worst relationship in cartoon history. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.